Good morning, all of you. In the last lecture, we have discussed that what is the nucleophilic substitution reactions, what are the different types of different types of substitution reactions, that is nucleophilic and electrophilic substitution reactions, how we basically distinguish between them. Now, when we are going to deal with the nucleophilic substitution reactions, here the example which I have written here, that the alkyl halide reacts with the alkali and you get the formation of a alcohol, and the neutral molecule sodium bromide is obtained. In this reaction, the overall three things are happening. That is, the CBr bond is being broken, the COH bond has been formed, a new bond has been formed, and this sequence of bond breaking and formation is not known. And so, to study this, now when we are studying the reaction, this cannot be seen with our naked eyes, this cannot be seen with a highly magnified electronic microscope, and so these are all studied on the basis experimental factor experiments, by performing different experiments depending upon different conditions. That is the nature of the living group, the nature of the nucleophile, the concentration of the substrate or reagent, the temperature effect, and the solvent which is used in this reaction. And so in this reaction, whether the CBr bond is being broken first or the COH bond has been formed first, and whenever this bond breaking and bond formation is taking place, how is the energy associated, energy changes associated with this reaction is taking place. And so to study this sequence, here there are different possibilities that the reaction must have been proceeded. So here in the first path, if we see that this is the substrate containing a living group, and the nucleophile attacks from the backside, and you get the formation of a intermediate which contains 5 bond. And then further, then in the second step, means here the first nucleophile attacks, and in the second step the living group cleaves or the breaks and the bond, and you get the formation of this product. This is the first path. The second possibility is that, means the first, in this first COH bond has been formed, we have considered that the COH bond has been formed. Now in the second path, we can see or we can consider that the CBr bond breaks first, and if this CBr bond breaks first, you will get the formation of an intermediate. It's called as carbocation, and the living group has been set free as Br minus. And in the second step, the OH minus attacks on this carbocation, and you get the formation of the product. And the third path, the possibility of forming the reaction, is that the nucleophile attacks the carbon from the backside, the simultaneous bond formation takes place, and the simultaneous bond breaking also takes place, and you get an intermediate step that is called as your transition state, in which the CBr bond has been partially broken and the COH bond has been partially formed. Means this is the state in which it is called as your transition state, and then the minus Br minus, and here you get the formation of the product. And so out of these three different paths, which are the suitable path and which is not possible? So if we see the first path, in which the OH attacks first and then the CBr bond breaks in the second step. So here the pentavalent state which is obtained is not possible. The pentavalent state which is obtained is not possible. So this mechanism is not possible. Then the second, that the CBr bond must have been broken first. Okay, it's possible. And so here you get the formation of a carbocation, and then the nucleophile will attack and you get the formation of a product. And so here we are supposed to consider that the carbocation is formed because it must be stable. And the third possibility, that the partial bond formation and the partial bond breaking, that is the creation of a transition state, must be taking place. And then you are getting the product. So here these two pathways are possible. And so depending on this type of mechanism, these are termed as, this path 2 is termed as your SN1, and this path second is termed as your SN2 mechanism. Because here in this first step or the slow step, that is the rate determining step where the rate of the reaction can be determined, in this only one substrate molecule is involved in the reaction, and so it is called as substitution nucleophilic unimolecular. And in this first step, that is the slow step and the rate determining step, the nucleophile along with the substrate is involved in the first step, and that's why the two molecules are involved, and so the type of substitution is called as substitution nucleophilic bimolecular. And so in this way we are supposed to study these two different mechanisms thoroughly in details, which we have studied in 12th standard also, and in last year also we have studied this reactions or these mechanisms. Now one by one we can deal with the different types of nucleophilic substitution reaction. And here the first reaction that we want to study, that is SN2 reaction. SN2 reaction and mechanism. SN2 reaction and mechanism. And so here in the very first step we will study the kinetics of the reaction. That is the, what is kinetics? That is the chemical kinetics, means nothing but here we can determine the rate of reaction. And so here we are going to consider the hydrolysis of methyl bromide. Consider the hydrolysis of methyl bromide, of methyl bromide. Now, when we are going to consider the reaction, that is the hydrolysis of methyl bromide, so CH3Br plus NaOH. So here this is the substrate molecule. Br will act as a leaving group, OH minus will act as a nucleophile, and the product obtained here is methanol plus NaBr. And so this is the reaction, means leaving group, nucleophile, this is the overall substrate molecule, this is the reagent, this is the product, and here this Br minus is a leaving group. As the leaving group is weaker than the nucleophile, that's why the reaction proceeds. And so the kinetic study of this reaction shows that the rate of reaction is directly proportional. The rate of reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of substrate, that is methyl bromide, and the concentration of nucleophile, that is OH minus. And so the rate of reaction is equal to your K2 into concentration of methyl bromide and concentration of OH minus. And so as the rate is proportional to the substrate and nucleophile, means these both are involved in the slow step or the rate step, rate determining step. And so here this reaction means the breaking of CBr bond and the attack of the nucleophile is taking place in this same step. And so here we are getting, means it is taking place continuously in a transition state formation is taking place. And so here we want to deal with the mechanism of the reaction, and while dealing with the mechanism of the reaction, what is the mechanism of the reaction? So the proposed mechanism So here the C H Br, this nucleophile, as both are involved in the rate determining step, which is termed as your slow step. And so this OH minus attacks the Br from the opposite side, because if it attacks from the front side, the negative spaces, means bromine is negatively charged, OH is negatively charged, they will repel each other. And that's why this OH prefers to attack from the backside. And when it attacks from the backside, the simultaneous bond formation takes place. Now, when this bond formation starts, it's a exothermic process. Bond formation is a exothermic process in which the energy is being released. And this energy which is being released by the COH bond formation is being utilized for the CBr bond breaking, because CBr bond breaking is an endothermic process which needs a supply of energy which is supplied by the COH bond formation. And so simultaneously both these things are taking place, and you get the formation of a transition state in which the partial CBr bond breaking is taking place and the partial COH bond formation is taking place. And this overall step is negatively charged, because the nucleophilic species, it donates the electron to this carbon, which is sp3 hybridized saturated carbon, and the energy is being released. And this energy, as it's an exothermic process, this is the endothermic process, energy is being absorbed from the COH bond formation, and this simultaneously both things are taking place, and so it's termed as your transition state. And as the partial bond breaking and bond formation is taking place, so here in the, as soon as this both things are formed simultaneously, in the first step the Br is released and you get the formation of the product, that is this product which is obtained is with inversion in configuration. So if you must have seen these two structures which I have written on the board in the reactant and in the product, here the Br is on the right hand side, whereas the OH is on the left hand side, because from the back side when it attacks, it attaches here from the left hand side. And so in this we get inversion in configuration. And so in this is your overall reaction or the mechanism. Now, whatever we have seen, the attack of OH from the front side is not possible, because OH is negatively charged species, nucleophilic in nature, this is nucleophilic in nature, and the nucleophile repels each other, and that's why there is no chance of attack from the front side. That's why the back side attack is taking place. And so you are supposed to explain this mechanism in the steps. That in the first step, that is the slow step, rate determining step, the two molecules are involved, that is the substrate and the nucleophile. That's why the reaction is termed as substitution nucleophilic bimolecular. And as the attack, nucleophile cannot attack from the front side due to the repulsion, it attacks from the back side. You get the formation of a transition state where the energy in the COH bond formation, which is exothermic process, is utilized for the CBr bond breaking, and then you get the formation of a transition state. As it attains the transition state, the Br leaves the molecule immediately and you get the formation of a product, and this product which is obtained is with inversion in configuration, is inversion of configuration. Means the configuration of the reactant and product are totally different. And so this is your SN2 mechanism. So here, what is the stereochemistry? Means the stereochemistry is that the product is always in SN2 reaction mechanism, the product is always opted with inversion in configuration. And so here the energy profile diagram of this reaction, that is the reaction coordinate. Reaction coordinate means how it proceeds, and this is the energy change. So here, if we see that this methyl bromide reacts with OH minus, and as the reaction starts, the energy of the reaction goes on increasing, and as it attains a transition state, the partial bond breaking and partial bond formation is the step of highest energy in the reaction. And as it forms, means this is the slow step, rate determining step, and as the CBr bond breaks, you get the formation of the product. Here if you see that the energy of the product is always less, and so here you will get the formation of the product, and this is most stable. The products are always stable than the reactants, and so this is the energy profile diagram. This is the stage of the highest energy level, that is the energy of activation, and here this is the energy profile diagram. Here you one thing you can just judge that this OH attacks from the back side, and the product obtained is with inversion in configuration. So this is the energy profile diagram. Now, whenever we are studying the stereochemistry of the reaction, that is the when we say that the inversion in configuration has been obtained, but here the molecule is containing a saturated carbon atom which is not asymmetric. It's a simple asymmetrical carbon must be present. And so, while studying the stereochemistry, the scientist has proved that inversion in configuration is obtained in SN2 mechanism. So, we want to study in detail the stereochemistry of the SN2 reaction, that why or how this inversion is being obtained in SN2 reaction. So, here we will stop with this mechanism, and in the next lecture we will deal with the stereochemistry of the SN2 reaction